Well, it turns out I talked for about at least 20 minutes more past the time that I was cut off through the Wi-Fi. But it's just as well because I actually ended up saying things that didn't really need to be said, in addition to things that probably did need to be said. But one of the problems with speaking extemporaneously using a stream of consciousness process is that you end up not being able to duplicate what you said. So I've closed my door now. You can see it's closed there. And I'll just wrap it up on karma. David Wilcock said a lot of other things, that are super interesting. You might want to, check them out. Because all I'm talking about is karma. But when I reviewed the things I said before, a couple of corrections. One, Hindu culture predates Sumerian. Okay? The Hindus didn't get it from the Sumerians. It's more the other way around. And the other thing I need to clarify is that when I said Christian values, I didn't mean Christianity. I meant Christian values. The values that Christians taught and espoused, not the religion. The golden rule, the lead with love, the forgive. And it's just kind of a lot of common sense, goodness kinds of things. I also heard today, I'm not sure if it was David Wilcock or somebody else, but somebody else confirmed, agrees with me, that morality and intelligence go hand in hand, that the most intelligent people are the ones that truly understand the need for morality and try to lead moral lives. That there's inherent value in being good. It helps your clan, your people, your species, and everything around you. It helps everything to survive. So in terms of karma, let me kind of just wrap it up. Karma, we understand, is the universe getting revenge on you, right? That if you abuse somebody and they want to forgive you, one way they can forgive you without violating their human need for balance is by thinking that karma, that the system itself will catch up with you. That I, as an individual, don't have to be evil in order for you to be punished for being evil. That's how a lot of people use the idea of karma. The same way that the Christians will say, well, I forgive you, but God remembers. So I think there's really no way around our understanding that no matter what attitude we choose to add to it later to modulate our feelings and our responses, when we are wronged or abused or mistreated, we're going to want to see justice. We're going to want to see justice, whether we say karma will deal with the justice or God will punish you with hell for the justice, or whether we just go to war with you ourselves. We want to see justice done for us. Each person wants justice. And you can't get justice when your entire system is corrupt. You can't get justice when European nationalist racism is the ideology that rules, the most ruthless amongst you, the most willing to rob and kill. So I was cut off before, and I can understand why. I said something that I would have regretted. And that was really unnecessary as well. But I do want to just kind of wrap this up and not leave things hanging in the air all cut off like that. And have another response to what David Wilcock and also I think others are preaching. And I want to say this. You can lead with love, but not when you're at war. When you're defending yourself in a war, when you're fighting against an enemy that has declared they're going to genocide you, that they're going to create a huge army of government and civic and industrial and professional, that they're going to get as many battalions as they can muster across every single area of life that governs you. Everything that you need to survive, they're going to become in charge of. When you're living under siege, you can't afford to love your enemies. You can't afford to be forgiving. You can't afford any of that because they're constantly acting against you. That's why the final answer to the test is that evil always wins. Because if you're in a situation where you have to destroy an ideology, you're going to find yourself having to destroy a lot of men that believe in that ideology, that live by that ideology. You're either going to have to brainwash them or go to war with them. And war itself means destruction of your enemy. So whether you're pulled into war because you're the aggressor that wants to do the killing and thieving, or if you're pulled into war to defend yourself from aggressors that are devoted to killing and thieving, once you're in war, you're about the same thing. You're at the same level. And that's why God knows that you can't beat evil. That the only end for good versus evil is evil wins. So I was told my karma could withstand it. That my karma was good enough to bear the burden of evil that must be done to restore sovereignty to the people, to give the people what God wants for the people, not what free will and evil has led us to. When you're thinking about European nationalist supremacy and karma, I think it's very important to remember that no matter what your karma was, no matter what your ideology is, you have free will. You can choose, okay? You can choose. And this even goes for Tina Ainley and her children, her 2 daughters and her son. They can choose. Every European on the Arizona court can choose to stop legislating the destruction of real Americans and the torture and terrorism of real Americans. They can stop it right now. They have free choice. Free will. You understand? Free will. Maybe free will is more powerful than your karma. I don't know. Well, I hope this was helpful to you. And I'm going to, I ate dinner while I watched to see when I got cut off. I got cut off about halfway through. But it's okay because I kind of went into some unpleasant areas. It might not have even been fair, because some people have been spies, they've been double agents, and they've had to pretend to be evil in order to be super good. They had to make the enemy think that they were a part of the enemy so they could really infiltrate. And for those people, some of the things I say sometimes are not really fair to you, because deep in my heart, I know that you were infiltrating. But since you did behave a certain way. Like the people in the category that you were infiltrating, sometimes I throw you in with the whole strategy conversation. So, this is the story of Silver Rain Runningcloud, and this conversation was about karma and the fact that my karma did not put me in this terrible life situation, that the free will of European nationalist racists, individual people exercising free will within a system designed to rob and kill me and make sure my children inherit nothing and make sure my children don't have the economic freedom to have a lot of children, and all the other things that have stood in my way of prosperity, of controlling and developing my own land, of being free the way God intended. So if you, like me, feel you never did anything wrong, maybe you've got some karma, some excess good karma, like I do, because that's what I was told. To summarize, I was told in the transcendental conversations that my karma was pretty near to flawless, and that there is a penalty for destroying life. There's a penalty for destroying souls. There's a penalty for war, even when you're on the defense side. But that my karma could withstand it, that I could pay it forward. Okay, that's enough. I'm actually pretty tired now because I ate while I was watching the first part of this broadcast and reviewing what I had said. So I made the couple of corrections I wanted to make. That when I say Christian, I'm not a Christian. I don't mean the religion. I mean the values that Moses brought down from the mountain. Only the ones like don't rob, don't kill, don't cheat on each other, don't have casual sex. Those kind of commandments. Not every single thing he said, not the things that are anachronistic to this time. Because I know on the Young Turks, Anna and Sink were talking about the 10 Commandments being required in a school district. And they were kind of going through the 10 Commandments and how obsolete many of them are. So I don't mean the obsolete ones that they talked about on the Young Turks. I mean the commandments that say be good to each other. Don't do things that are going to cause another person hurt. Don't let your selfishness cause despair for another person. If you can dispense despair or keep it to yourself, keep it. I just did something to my computer. Okay, I'm actually out of here now. I think I covered everything that was essential to my conversation on karma and reincarnation and why I'm here and my duration, the frequency of my appearances among humanity and all of that. I think I covered it. Thank you for being with me. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to live in this room. I don't want to try to find something good to watch on Netflix or Hulu or Apple TV or Tubi or YouTube or Amazon Prime or any, the alternative to TV, any of the alternatives to TV. Because it was really hard to get up again today. It's hard to get up. It's hard to keep motivated. But in the reviews of social media I did today, I don't know if it was the Nibiruan Council. I think it was the Nibiruan Council recording from May 27th or something that I listened to on the Nibiruan Council website. But I listened to somebody today that said they love your pain and misery. They want you to give up. They want you to feel suicidal. They want you to be depressed. They want you to think that this misery, this pain, this ugliness will never end. They feast on your pain. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Nibiruan Council recordings. She has another recording tomorrow. You have to pay to join. And you know I'm poor. I don't have money for anything like that. But if you do, you might want to join them. It was a very good conversation. It talks about the world that's emerging, the world beyond the remnants of this one. You know, just like David Wilcock, just like Michael Salla, just like Carrie Cassidy, just like Benjamin Fulford, just like David Icke, just like Alex Jones. And just like me. Let's go into the future, huh? Let's sweep up our mess. And if you're an European, I hope you can understand what I'm saying to you. I hope you can understand how much the fate of the world is depending on Africa gaining its liberty and autonomy and making the wealth of Africa something that belongs to and benefits the Africans. Because the Africans have a lot of people and a lot of resources that Europeans depend on for war and technology. And once Africa closes its doors, the Europeans won't have the kind of weapons that they have to use against us anymore. Once the African people say, guess what? You can't have this gold. Enough is enough. Then all of us become free. Once Africa breaks its shackles that the Europeans have put on it, we all move up a step. We all move closer to liberty. Every single nation in the world overtaken by Europeans in government, Europeans in court, Europeans in commerce. Once Africa breaks free and becomes united, they become the biggest, most formidable human and economic resources that we've ever seen. Good luck, Africa. Counting on you.